the Iceman and Kyle standing by with Kimberly Pressler.
Kyle, Jesper, you guys dominated coming in today. Why do you think that you guys did so well on this dual oil pattern?
Well, Kimberly, it all started with this man throwing a lot of strikes in qualifying. I was trying to keep up the best I could, and we have really great chemistry. We have a lot of fun together, and we really carried that momentum going into match play. I tried to throw as many strikes as him every game, and it seemed to work out pretty good for us.
So let's talk about that chemistry, because you are a very serious guy, but when you bowl with him, you guys seem to bring the best out of each other. How much do you love bowling doubles with him?
Like he said, we had a good time, and you know, takes a little bit longer for me to really get excited and kind of go crazy, but I hope tonight, together with him and all of you guys, that we can do some damage to these lanes.
All right, well, thank you, guys.
All right, Kimberly, thank you. Randy, our format, well, the field size started with 56 teams. We're down to 5.
Each player bowled 14 games of qualifying as an individual, so the team had 28 games of qualifying to get to the top 16. From there, it was 16 games of round-robin Baker.
And of course, Baker, one player, one frame. Next frame, your teammate takes over. So we are set for our opening matchup. Dom Barrett, Anthony Simonson, your 5 seeds. Here's the introduction.
The number 5 seeds, with 8 PBA Tour titles from Colchester, England, Dom Barrett. His partner has 7 PBA Tour titles from Little Elm, Texas, Anthony Simonson.
Dual oil pattern this week. The great Marshall Hollman pattern on the right, 37 feet. The players are going to attack it much steeper through the front part of the lane and play the edge. Mark Roth pattern, the great Mark Roth, 42 feet in length, 5 feet longer. The players are going to play a little bit deeper and a little bit straighter, but you can see where the break points are. Look for the bowling balls in that area where the blue circles are down lane.
You say play the edge on that right lane.
Yeah,
you're not fooling. You're not fooling.
And you love that.
I do, but it also scares me silly. I was watching a lot of warm-ups. EJ Tackett, about 5 times I said, that's going in the gutter.
Yeah.
That's going, nope, it didn't. Hooking at the last possible moment. We begin the Mark Roth Marshall Hollman PBA Doubles Championship with Colchester, England's finest, Dom Barrett. So good to see him back.
Well, he's one of the best out here, and I don't think we get to see him enough. He likes to use a lot of tricks. Very versatile player.
The number 4 seeds, with 7 PBA Tour titles from Tempe, Arizona, Jacob Buttroff. His partner has 5 PBA Tour titles from Espoo, Finland, Osku Palerma.
I just like hearing the phrase Espoo, Finland.
I love listening to Kurt Von Kruger introduce the guys.
He's so good, isn't he?
He gets really into it. I love it.
Very interesting combination. And Kimberly in a moment is going to have more on how these 2 partnerships came about, because at one point, Osku and Dom were partners.
Yes, sir.
No more.
And you can see how straight he's going on that right lane with the urethane. And you know Jacob Buttroff's going to throw urethane on the left lane. Look how straight that is for a 2-hander with all that power. Remember, we saw Osku at the start of the season in Dallas, the Hall of Fame Classic.
Certainly hasn't been the 2020 like last year was for Jacob Buttroff for 2019. Gets a strike here, though. He was in contention until very late for Player of the Year honors last season. This year, he admitted to us, it's been rough. I've been missing cuts at the majors, and frankly, it's just been hard for him to accept. On the flip side, Anthony Simonson is right in the mix for Player of the Year honors this season. Just 23 years old.
Heartbreaking loss a couple of weeks ago at the tournament, or at the
U.S. Open.
The U.S. Open against Jason Belmonte.
Simo on the right lane. Oh, 10-pin. it's not going to be that kind of day. Is it, 10-pin?
Well, remember when I talked about the oil pattern, the difference between this week and this exact same oil pattern we used last week, but there's more oil in the middle part of the lane, which helps push the bowling balls to the outside part, helps them retain energy, and then hook back. If you remember a couple of weeks ago in the majors how tough the oil patterns were, and I talked about how flat those patterns were. Not this week. This week was intended to have high scores, and all they had to do is put a little more oil in the middle of the lane.
So Dom Barrett up now, and Kimberly, he used to be partners with his competitor right now, Osku Palermo.
Absolutely. So Osku and Dom are very good friends, and as you mentioned, they used to be doubles partners, actually made 2 TV finals together before, but today they are in this with different partners. And when I asked how these changes came about, Don said that he and Osku had an honest conversation about really wanting to make a run at winning this title, and they needed some solid young blood to do that. And he also said that he thinks that they both traded up.
Yeah, they both wanted to go a little younger, a little sexier, a little more full of life, and someone who can strike it a lot.
Yeah, it sounds like a bad episode of Wife Swap.
Right. Good, honest conversation. We're putting honest in quotation marks, like, it's not you, it's me,
Yeah,
Randy.
Sure.
Talking to Palermo and Butcher yesterday ahead of the show. Osku with another strike. And it was fascinating. It was almost like one of those longtime married couples from Long Island or Boca where they were kind of bickering and sniping at each other and maybe picking a little bit. I think that's more Osku's kind of fatherly feel over the younger Jacob Buttriff. Osku 36, Buttriff 25.
Oh, look at that. He's thrown a purple urethane. I wonder how many of those he has.
Leaves the double wood on the verge of a hambo, not to be.
Outside the target line there on that last shot by almost 3 boards at the break point, and makes the ball come in light, leaving the 3-9.
There's his teammate, Palermo. Covers that one nicely. Simonson steps up, native of Little Elm, Texas. Boy, he just annihilated the U.S. Open field a couple weeks ago, as you mentioned,
Yeah.
but eventually fell to Jason Belmonte. Randy, let's go back to 2016, National Bowling Stadium, one of our favorite venues in Reno. The unlikely duo of Connor Pickford and Anthony Simonson, they qualified first for this Roth Hollman Championship.
Oh, yeah.
Simonson was just 18 years old.
Yeah.
Amazing. Pickford 23 in his second TV appearance, and they took care of Blanchard and Gomez to win the title there.
Don Barrett using results. Looking for results.
And finding results! Messenger doing its job.
TV Messenger.
It's just a beautiful game, and what a great touch he has at the release point. Look at the rotation, and then head pin to the sidewall, and 10 pin to the blue tent.
Barrett with strikes in the first, third, and fifth. Tight one here. Osku steps up to close out the fifth.
Purple urethane for Osku.
Osku just took a re-rack. You see those hash marks, if you will, underneath their names. Just one more re-rack left. Simonson and Barrett have both. Osku gets them all to drop.
And you see the plus minus there with the max score. So if you're unfamiliar with the plus minus, that's because we always assume that the next ball is going to be a strike. So the plus minus is an accurate description of the score of the frame that bowler is in. Max score and plus minus could be different depending on whether or not the player is on a strike.
So it'll have to be another spare attempt here from Jacob.
Shot.
Kicks that one into the pit. Just 2 pins separating these two teams. And when we return, we're going to have a flashback to the reigning, let's call them the power couple in the PBA doubles activity. That one's next, plus the conclusion, match number 1.
Ran away and hid from the rest of the field. Just complete dominance. Jesper himself, if he bowled alone, knocked down enough pins to qualify for match play.
Insane. Kyle Troop was just along for the ride.
Well, that's a great horse, right?
Right, ride it,
I mean,
baby, ride that
I
horse.
could be a jockey on that horse.
A couple good horses in today's event,
Oh, yeah.
by the way.
Yeah, here's one right here.
Yeah, exactly. Anthony Simonson. This is a young man that you have to put into the category of future face, and maybe even to a point current face of the PBA.
Yeah, without question. I mean, we talk about how he already has Hall of Fame credentials. The only thing that he has to add to what he's already done is he needs 20 years on tour.
He's only 23, right? This is already his 7th year. It's one of those numbers where you have to keep tracking back and going, wait, what? Are you sure this is right? That's got to be a typo on the notes. Nope. And he is paired up this week with Dom Barrett, 10-year pro from England.
So you said Anthony's been a member for 7 years and Dom 10.
Right.
And Dom's 11 years older than Anthony is.
Ooh. 10 pin shy being perfect on that left lane.
So again, it shows you the plus minus of being even. We'll get that scoreboard back up for you in a second as we watch the 6 wrap around the 10. And a nice shot there by Dom Barrett.
Dom telling us the other day, this is a title you can compete for if you are with one of the top guys on the tour. That's what Kimberly talks about in our last segment. They decided to kind of have a mutual parting of ways, and then I think he and Osku both feel like they might have upgraded in grabbing some younger talent.
Right.
Guys who can consistently strike it and then kind of help them out. Maybe some of that veteran leadership to get them another title. As you take a look at the max numbers there on the far right.
And again, even though it shows even, the max scores are different, and that's because we're assuming that there'll be a strike in the 7th frame for Palermo, which would then even out the max score.
Left the 4.
So you see how he got 9, and the max score now changes to 247, which is exactly what they can shoot. If he would have struck there, his max score was 258, and that's the difference with max score and the plus minus. Remember, we used to watch Osku throw it about 30 miles an hour with his thumb in and his spare ball. And now he's using his two-handed release, throwing that plastic ball. And we asked him why was that when we saw him do that at the Hall of Fame Classic, and he said it was just too much wear and tear on his body.
Left the 7 pin. We were talking with Jacob, and And Kimberly asked him any injuries, and Osku was giving him grief. Like, come on, like we all get banged up, we all have finger problems, right? But Jacob said, yeah, I kind of split my finger right about here. I didn't get a good look at it. You did.
I did. Looked like somebody hit him in the finger with an axe.
That's not good.
No, it was,
according to my sources.
Yeah, it was awful.
But it was great. Osku showed 0 to negative sympathy for him, right?
You know, out here when you got a cut on your finger, and I mean, we used to get it. The worst spot ever was at the base of your thumb, because when you put your thumb in the ball, all the weight of the ball would sit there, and it was almost impossible to bowl. You couldn't keep it together. You try to glue it shut. The only thing that you could do was suture it closed, and then you can't bowl. That was the worst cutter. But nobody's going to feel sorry for you when you got a boo-boo on your hand.
What was the boo-boo on your hand? What was the advice you handed to him? It was what was the ointment to put on, and then Band-Aid? Neosporin?
Neosporin and a Band-Aid. I mean, but Osku confirmed what I said. He says, you got to put something on it to get it to heal.
Now, is it something we could light on fire? Is this a light on fire finger type situation, or no?
I'm part pyro. You can light anything on fire.
Strike for Simonson. By the way, have you noticed the change from the plastic water bottles to the PBA branded water containers?
Man, that's our new owners, man. They're on it.
There'll be no crinkling of plastic water bottles here on out.
Listen, if you had you could kind of hit
ding ding ding.
Yeah, you could ding it the side of it with a pen or a pencil or something.
Don't give anybody ideas. Here's Dom up 2. We begin the 9th.
Whoa, chip 4, 9, 10, it looked like.
Wasn't sure about that one. I'm like, they're slow enough. Got around it a bit more.
You heard him say, get around it a little bit more, and that ball changed direction down lane a little harder. Watch this, Rob. 4, 9, 10, last to go.
Dom was explaining it to Anthony. I'm fairly sure Anthony understood about 10% of what Dom was saying.
Why do you say that?
He's got a good proper English accent. Yeah. It's not a Scottish accent where you just go
tougher.
Forget it.
Yeah,
I don't know what you said.
Yeah, no.
It was great. Dom, Osku, myself. A nice little soccer conversation last night after our meetings. Palermo gets all 10 to drop.
So there you go, the max score, 236 for Buttriff and Palermo, 248 Simonson and Dom Barrett. Hit him thin, watch him spin, the old late great Billy Whaley phrase. And it's really nice to see Osku again. Like, this is the second time we've seen him this season. He struggled for a long time. Everybody's like, why is this guy not bowling better?
He's saying the same about Buttriff this season. He gets all 10 to drop there. Osku, a bit of a caregiver, if you will, this week, keeping his eye on Buttriff, and those two click. Boy, watch out, huh?
Yeah, they've got a lot of talent on today's telecast, and I think there's 61 titles and 11 majors combined on the show today. Buttriff looking to get his team into the mid-230s. Does it. Now then, Simonson's going to get up on the right lane, and he'll need a strike 9 spare to win this match if Buttriff strikes on this next ball. Whatever Buttriff does on this ball, on this next shot, unless he throws it in the gutter, which won't happen, Simonson's going to need first ball strike in the 10th.
And also interesting, it's the young guns for both teams that are closing things out. That's how you close out a 10th.
Yeah, that was after back-to-back soft 7, so Jacob Buttriff made the proper adjustment and then flushed 3 in the 10th.
So Buttriff applying the late pressure. to team Barrett Simonson. It will be Simonson, the 23-year-old, who's already won 2 majors, stepping up.
Strike 9 spare, right there in front of you.
There's your strike.
Yeah, just like that.
Nine spare works, a strike would be even better. Some deep breathing going on there.
Strike will win it. 9 spare would also be enough. Gotta take care of the 10-pin.
Gotta make it.
95% of the time on the tour, single pin 10 is dropped.
You know, every time you talk about spare percentage, you have a golden opportunity that you never use. I'll get to that when we come back after this match.
I thought you were going to say I'm setting up an ultimate jinx for these guys. To move on.
I thought we needed a double.
That's why math is important here. Didn't need a double, but he got enough. Buttriff Palermo is done. Simonson, Barrett, move on. Coming up next, an update on the godfathers of this doubles bowling event. Mark Roth and Marshall Hollman next. Last week we were here at the Royal Pin Woodland in Indy for the Go Bowling PBA Indianapolis Open. Jesper Svensson, the Iceman, was your one seed. How about the 10th frame he had, huh?
Well, it was a great match, and it came down to this shot right here, and that sealed the deal for Jesper. Even though he had 8 strikes in the game, his biggest shot was converting that spare.
And that win makes him now just 1 title away from Hall of Fame eligibilities. We take a look at our updated playoff points list. The top 8 receive first round buys, and right now Svensson is receiving that bye. Belmonte on top of the list. The top 24 go on to the PBA playoffs. All the numbers will be calculated and finalized after the USBC Masters in Reno. So that cut line right now, let's see who's sitting on the north side and the south side of it. Wes Smollett in a good position at the moment, at least.
Hard to believe Jacob Buttriff's in 30th.
Right? Disappointing, frustrating season for Jacob Buttriff. Still has time to make it up. And again, the PBA playoffs begin. And for your well wishes for my recovery, I'm working hard. Good luck to all the bowlers. And Mark, you know we're thinking of you as you continue to recover from a recent stroke. And let's use this opportunity, because we do love Mark so much, to remind our audience just how almost invincible this guy was when he was at his best.
I mean, he did some things out here that's never been done before. You know, he's kind of the father of the power game. But think about this stat. So in 78 and 79, he won 14 tournaments. He won 8 and then 6.
14.
Yeah, but I think his most impressive stat was from 77 to 79. He bowled for the title 33 times.
And he would often book travel for his wife weeks in advance of the TV. It's something you and I don't even do.
Right. Well, there was this one tournament. It was the World Open in Chicago. And he would go to the tournament, and then he would buy a plane ticket for his wife for the TV show before the tournament started.
Yeah. Mark, we're thinking of you. Here's your partner, Marshall Hollman, standing by with Kimberly.
Thanks, guys. So, Marshall, sadly, Mark could not be here. Have you spoken to him recently?
I have. I've spoken to him a couple times the last few weeks, and he had a serious stroke in November. He is progressing, but still got a ways to go. And Mark, we love you, we miss you, and it's not the same here without you.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about these matches, because these 10 guys out here, 8 of them are rising stars in the PBA. So what are your thoughts on all of these up-and-coming stars and the new generation of the bowlers?
I think it's great. It's, it's a different game than when I bowled. There's a lot more power. These youngsters are great. They're taking these amazing bowling balls and doing ridiculous things with them, and they throw the ball so hard. But I love it. It's progress. It's the new PBA, and I'm a fan.
I love it too. Guys, we're going to send it back to you.
Kimberly, I noticed just a hint of jealousy, perhaps, from Marshall, right? Chris Prather, Andrew Anderson, they hit the lanes next, and we're going to have the story of their union that almost fell apart. We welcome you back to Indy and the on-lane graphics you see right now and throughout today's show, including the on-lane ball tracer, brought to you courtesy of Clutch Bowling.
I love me some Clutch.
Never tire of these.
Love me some Clutch.
Never tire of them. All right, so the step ladder has been updated. Your 5 seed Simonson and Barrett, 1-pin victors. They move on to match number 2.
The number 3 seeds. He was a 2018 PBA Player of the Year from Holly, Michigan, Andrew Anderson. His partner won the 2020 PBA Tournament of Champions for his first career major from Plainfield, Illinois, Christopher Prather.
Got an early vibe about this one, Randy?
You know, it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, this guy right here is bowled as good as anybody this season. I think the question mark is going to be the health of Andrew Anderson.
More on that in a moment with Kimberly. Prather won the Tournament of Champions earlier this season up in Fairlawn, Ohio. Did it coming from the 4-seed spot. He's a 3-seed today.
Going with a little loft early. Check this out. Loft meaning that ball is going to stay in the air a little bit longer than normal. And the players do that to try to avoid early hook, early friction. You know, we're going to have that debate again about his nickname.
I was going to get to that. He's got that little curl off the bang working today, which to me says Clark Kent is in play.
It's straight up Clark Kent.
Right? There's not even a doubt.
Yeah.
Simonson, as I like to call him, the lumberjack mows down all 10.
Chops down all 10.
Well, this lumberjack, he doesn't have an axe. He just takes anything he's got in his arsenal and whacks it down.
Watch this from profile. There it is, that bent elbow.
I mean, that
the left arm
knee
underneath.
to nose, Randy.
Right.
That's a yoga move.
And then look how low he is to the foul line right here. And also note that he did change balls. He's gone to reactive resin. He threw the urethane ball in game 1.
Knee to nose.
Knee to nose.
No, thank you. Ooh, that did not sound good and doesn't look good either.
He made a ball change as well and then went through the nose, leaving the 410. So he's going to try to get his bowling ball over here to the left side of the 4-pin and cut it into the 10.
This one converted just 4.5% of the time on the tour. What do you got, Dom? 4 and all.
Steep enough.
He's going to move deeper on that left lane.
Yeah, it wasn't steep enough. He got up there.
Up next, Andrew Anderson, and his partnership with Chris Prather was in doubt, Kimberly, not too long ago.
So in September of last year, while at a competition in Sweden, Andrew and Chris decided to become doubles partners for this event. But the very next day, Andrew tweaked his knee, and it was bad enough that he said Chris was sweating his decision to partner up with him. Now, even though Andrew is in some pain and possibly needs surgery, he reassured Chris that no matter what, he was going to be ready for this doubles competition. And staying true to his word, he is here today, and they come in as the number 3 seed.
It's that left knee, Kimberly, that's been bothering him. He said it's the best he felt in about 4 months as he cleans up the 7-pin. He's gone through about 4 months
say
of
the word quick, right?
physical therapy. And it was interesting. He said, my physical therapist allows me to bowl.
Rob, he's 24. I had 3 knee surgeries on in my career on my left, all on my left knee. If he's having knee problems now, boy, I'll tell you what, that's not a good thing.
Yeah, obviously, technology has changed, and you can be much more effective under the knife these days. But you're right, man. 24, and he hasn't had the surgery yet. Strike for his teammate Prather. He said, the doctor says I need left knee surgery. Probably going to happen some point this summer, but you know what that means, don't you? 3 to 4 months out of action.
Well, and if it happened during, you know, if it was a freak accident, he has to have it repaired. I get that. But if it happened from the sport of bowling at 24, especially as lean as he is, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, it's not like he's putting a lot of weight on those knees. Simonson in the third, down 11.
Come on, mate. Come on, find one.
So nice ball change for Simonson and Dom Barrett. We heard the two talking after Dom split. Dom's going to move in and try to go a little bit steeper, meaning he's going to try to cut and open up the front part of the lane a little bit more. There's Simonson's shot splitting the 8 and the 9 as it goes through the pin deck.
Barrett over on the left lane.
Yeah, he's curving it now, Rob. He's sending it. That's in between 4th and 5th arrow, almost on top of 5th arrow, and out to about the 6th or 7th board, so that's covering some real estate.
So back-to-back jacks for Simo Barrett, former player of the year. Andrew Anderson steps up. Ooh.
Well, that first shot that he threw on the right lane looked lazy, and then that one never hooked. As we take a look and see if we can see anything with his slide step, his left leg. I mean, he's still getting down pretty well on it. So the 2 shots that I've seen him throw on that lane, to me, tells me that it may be the wrong bowling ball that he's using on that lane. It's just not very responsive. So he may need to go to something stronger.
His teammate, Clark Kent clone Chris Prather, steps up.
Man of Steel with steel tape on his fingers. You see that? 21-5.
Loft works.
Beautiful.
He's got some support in the crowd tonight.
Keep working.
Wife Ashley here. Oh, look at this veteran move here, covering up the mics while the two of them talk strategy. Next thing you know, they're going to put one of those manila folders in front of their mouth and discuss to one another. Prather just 28, 6th year on the tour. Simonson just 23, his 7th year on the tour.
Come on, mate. Come on.
Did you say, come on, mate?
He did.
So he's been hanging out with Dom Barrett a little too long. My friend. When do you think Anthony Simonson has ever used the word mate in his life?
Yeah, no. Only when he bowls doubles with Dom.
Right? Now, what word do you think Dom might have picked up from Simonson?
None.
None?
No. Remember the proper English?
Oh,
he's not picking up any of his bad habits.
This is great. This is great. 3 strikes in a row. my man up top has got a sign if all 10 drop. Get down! Put it up, kid! There he is. I see it.
Oh boy.
Hey, Randy.
Yeah.
You know what starts 1 week from today?
I can't wait for you to tell me.
We're going to tell you next as we wrap up match number 2. We welcome you back to Royal Pin Woodland for the 2020 Mark Roth, Marshall Hollman PBA Doubles Championship. And Kimberly, those 4 youngsters are in attendance for good reason.
They absolutely are. So they are from the Flint Youth Bowling Association in Flint, Michigan, where Andrew Anderson bowled growing up. And Andrew told me that he still tries to go back there as often as he possibly can to work with the youth. And today they are paying it forward. They drove 5 hours this morning to come watch their local hero compete on the national stage.
Andrew from Holly, Michigan, about 40 minutes from Ann Arbor. He's a huge Wolverine fan. He was telling me he was at the big house for Ohio State, Michigan, was right behind our Big Noon Saturday set that was on the field, yelling at me incessantly. And, you know, when people yell at me a lot, you know what I do, Randy? Typically lay low and ignore them. I'm like, no, somebody does not care for me. Let's avoid it. It was actually a friendly face.
I got you,
Yeah.
Well, I when you said he's a huge Wolverine fan, I thought you meant X-Men.
Yes.
But thanks for clarifying that for me. And finally, a good shot on the right lane for Andrew as he slows his ball speed down. It looks like gets around the side of it a little bit more and gets that bowling ball to finally finish in the 1-3 pocket. They needed that hit.
Clark Kent. Ooh, very un-Superman-like effort.
I think he missed the transition. I think the lane broke down. It did get inside of target a little bit, but I mean, this is the 3, 4, 6, 7, 10. He's going to try to cut that 3-pin over into the 4 and the 7. The ball will take care of the 6-10. He called that at about 40 feet. That's huge. It keeps him in it. Watch the early call of this. There he goes. I think it was about halfway down the lane when he put his hand up and said, yep, that's got a chance. And boy, did it. What a great shot.
Just saved the universe and then takes a seat at the desk at the Daily Planet. Simonson. Bam!
Big shot. Mr. Big Shot.
Come on, Domsey.
Lead swelling to 36.
Hey, Rob, did you see the clutch sign on the lanes there? They just showed you Yahtzee.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Nice touch. World Series of Bowling coming your way next Sunday, Randy, 1:30 Eastern, live on FS1. First of 5 straight days of bowling coverage on FS1. World Series of Bowling 11. We're already at 11. Look how much we've grown. Live, 1:30 Eastern on FS1, also available on the Fox Sports app.
It's the Cheetah Championship. Cheetah.
That's all right.
Good shot.
10-pin.
Yeah. You know, we talked about it a couple weeks ago at the U.S. Open when Simonson left that and had that bad carry late and gave Belmo that opportunity. But it just seems to me like when players play this much angle, that the odds of leaving that pin to the right there increase.
full score as we take a look at the Prather-Anderson team that is now down 35. Anderson had all that momentum as 2018 PBA Player of the Year. Last year, injuries just led to a really challenging campaign. He had a torn tendon in his right middle finger. Talked about the left knee issues he had to overcome as well. So it's the best he felt in some time as the young fans from Flint cheer on Andrew.
Well, back-to-back shots for Andrew Anderson on that right lane that were perfect. They need them all. I mean, max score is 222 for them, and Simonson and Barrett are already at 227. That's if they strike spare in the 9th and 10th. To have any chance, he has to strike.
7-10, come on.
Well, that's a horrific break. You called him Clark Kent. He made that big split the last time he was up. The 7-10's only been made 3 times in the history of bowling on television.
And none since 91.
And the first one was by none other than
Mark Roth.
Mark Roth.
1980. Hammers the 10, leads the 7.
Well, this match is over. Simonson needs to stay upright behind the foul line. And the same for Don Barrett, and they're going to move on.
All 10 for Anthony. And this one, much more breathing room for the team of Barrett and Simonson.
Yep.
So they move on to match number 3, and while others have broken up on the PBA doubles circuit, up next, it's 2 longtime partners that feel their first doubles title is overdue. Marshall Kent and E.J. Tackett. Last year, Sean Rash and that man, Matt Ogle, climbed the ladder to capture the 2019 PBA Roth Hollman Championship title. In his first appearance on TV, the 34-year-old Ogle earned his first and so far only PBA Tour title. It was an emotional scene in Shawnee, Oklahoma. So, speaking of doubles, chemistry, styles, and sometimes just being able to get along makes for a successful doubles team. Bowling doubles is the subject of today's Go Bowling Presents Pressing Questions with Kimberly Pressler.
All right, guys, so let's talk about the doubles tournament. What is one positive thing about doing a doubles tournament?
For me, it's like, oh, wow, I'm bowling with the guy. He's got 11 major championships. This is going to be great. He's going to strike every shot. And it doesn't work out that way.
What is one con about doing a doubles tournament?
He blames me a lot. So I don't like getting blamed for bad bowling.
The pros of a doubles event.
Double is fun.
What's the best thing about bowling with Wes on doubles?
The fact that we won a couple of times. He is such a teddy bear. I mean, he's a big old bear, but he's a teddy bear.
It's just fun to have success with another and be able to share it with someone else.
And what is a con?
Well, the con is if you don't get a good partner, then you're kind of holding you back.
I don't want to have to bowl with him all the time. My grand plan would be to bowl with him the entire week and then sub him out before the show starts. I'm really the anchor of the team.
That couldn't be further from the truth.
Fortunately for me, I bowl with this guy named Brad Miller, and it helps me really get sharp in my game because I know I got to carry double the workload.
Last year in the doubles tournament, Kyle and I made the show. We were the #1 seed. I don't want to say I'm the reason we lost, but I definitely didn't contribute to a win.
Luckily, since then, Brad has practiced his 4 pins, and he did a little bit better on TV his last time. I think he actually threw a strike. So,
Just 1 strike, yes.
Well, you know who's a pretty good team today? Don Barrett, Anthony Simonson, 1-pin winners in match number 1. Much more comfortable victory in match number 2. They took up by 36 pins. Simonson, a perfect 5 for 5 in that second match.
the number 2 seeds. 4 PBA Tour titles from Yakima, Washington, Marshall Kent. His partner with 13 PBA Tour titles from Bluffton, Indiana, E.J. Tackett.
So Kent will start us off. He and Tackett for years have been partners. It's their 3rd show together. Met about 10 years ago on Junior Team USA. EJ saying, yeah, we vibed well. We took a break from one another. That break didn't go well. We rejoined forces. And here they are, 2 wins away from a tour title.
I'll tell you what, they'd like nothing better than get another shot at Jesper Svensson and Kyle Troop.
Yes, they have some history together. If there was a weak link, and I'm using that term awfully mildly, in match number 1 for the Barrett-Simonson team, it was Anthony. Strikes in 3 of 6 frames, but he really picked it up last match where he was perfect with his 5 attempts, and now he just keeps it going.
Well, it's all about the ball change. He went from urethane to reactive resin. Remember, he went from the dark black ball to this green one. You can see how much more he's able to shape that reactive resin ball because, quite honestly, the cover stock is way more aggressive, way stronger. Got a better, bigger engine inside that ball, so it allows him to really open the lane up.
We're talking to Dom yesterday, and he said, yeah, about game 5 of match play the other day, we just flip-flop lanes, which caught you off guard. It's just not something you normally do.
Yeah, typically the teams will, on the dual patterns, they'll stay, the one player will stay on the one lane. Typically there's a player that likes one lane more than the other. And you put that teammate on the lane they're going to strike the most on.
3, 6, 9, 10. Dom. Missed the 10.
Move like 4 and close.
Well, he said he moved 4 left and it wasn't even close. And that's how much that left lane is breaking down. The good news for Jesper Svensson and Kyle Troop, Jesper's left-handed and will probably bowl on that left lane.
Again, Svensson and Troop, your 1 seeds, waiting the winners of this match. EJ Tackett uncorks one in the second. Now the 9, eluding contact.
Yeah, that ball goes right through it. Look at this. He's going 20-3. Watch this. And the bowling ball just goes right past the 9. He goes, bye-bye.
Might have been a little anger in that spare toss there from EJ. Tackett and Kent, we talked about them and the relationship going back 10 years ago to Junior Team USA, and it has continued. EJ and Natalie married in November of last year. There's Marshall and the wedding party. Ronnie Russell there.
Ronnie Russell and his wife, yeah.
Well.
Natalie.
There she is.
She's wonderful.
Big music buff. You know who Natalie's going to Vegas to go listen to?
Tell me.
In a couple weeks? Jonas Brothers.
Jonas Brothers.
Jonas Brothers. They're having, what is it, one of those deals where you take over one of the hotel concert halls, you just kind of bunker down for a week or 2 or a month. That's what the Jonas Brothers are doing. She's schlepping out there. Girls trip to Vegas.
Nice.
For the Jonas Brothers. Things Rob and Randy will never do together.
Oops, too hard.
The Jonas Brothers road trip.
We'll never go see the Jonas Brothers together. Yeah. Marshall's going with loft, a lot of speed, a lot of hand, and you can see just how sparky the left lane is getting.
Sparky.
Yeah, it's starting to heat up pretty good over on that left lane.
3, 6, 10 dropped.
This is what doesn't make any sense to me and how much this game has changed. The right lane is the shorter pattern. which means there's more friction, more hook. The left lane is the longer pattern, so slicker, right? But they're actually able to play farther right on the shorter pattern than they do on the left lane. It's like backwards.
Yep. Simonson, a strike in the first. Here he is in the third. Back-to-back jacks.
Come on, mate.
There it is again.
Come on, mate.
Come on, Domsy, find one here.
It's not Anthony. It's not Anthony to use the word mate.
I'll tell you what.
Dom has infiltrated his brain.
Yeah, in a good way. But since he changed to that green ball, it's IQ Emerald, he hasn't missed.
So you're saying that was a good ball change?
I think so. Pretty good. Right?
Here's his mate, Dom Barrett, over on the left to start the fourth.
So he goes high, makes the big move left, and throws it pretty good. And when it goes light like that, that's your worst nightmare, because you just went high, you make the adjustment, and now it doesn't hook enough. Now what do you do? He's going to probably try to inch back just a little bit, or stay where he is and just throw it a little bit softer to get it to come around the corner.
Takes care of the 2-4. Head on over to PBA.com. Check out all the latest officially licensed PBA apparel and merchandise. Items include hats, t-shirts, replica jerseys of PBA's stars, and jerseys you can actually customize as well. Head over to PBA.com. Click on the Shop PBA link of the main menu to get shopping.
My buddy is back home at the golf club. They always want me to get them PBA swag. So I'll go to PBA.com and go to the store and buy some stuff.
They got a store right here. A little pop-up shop. You can pick some stuff up right now. Messenger! Yeah!
That was a great call, Rob. You saw it coming. It wasn't the fastest or most violent, but it's still a messenger. Headpin gets redirected, but still has enough weight to clip the 10.
I tell you what, messengers can brighten up anybody's day.
Oh, yeah.
Now his partner, Marshall Kent. A little off, a little bounce, and a whole lot of bang.
I promise you, he watched the shot that Dom Barrett threw when he went light.
That one didn't suck.
No, it certainly did not, Marshall. What a beautiful shot here. They're working on a strike. There's the loft just inside a fifth arrow, out to about 6. And that time the ball clips the 9. Big double.
Right now, this battle is being won and lost on that left lane.
Yes.
For the most part, Tackett and Simonson are just trading volleys here on the right lane. Simonson looking for another strike since that ball change. Woo! Came back from the gutter to drop ball 10.
He's got the whole right side of the lane with that ball. And you could see that was actually farther right down lane, and it almost went high.
Almost.
Great luck there at how far right he can get that ball.
Didn't have a lot of real estate left to play with over there, my friend.
About 1.5 inches.
This is where they need a strike. The left lane has been difficult for Dom.
Awful.
I think that was poorly executed. You heard Dom say that was awful. He tried to go with a little loft and a little softer speed, and I think he got it inside of target.
Bear takes care of that spare. When we return. We wrap up our semis next. Who is going to advance to take on Kyle Troop and Jesper Svensson? Oh, Marshall Kent, E.J. Tackett. Oh, that's a team right there during the break. Maybe enjoying the music a little too much. They're certainly enjoying their lead here in the semifinals. You know who we've enjoyed working with? Yes, Janae. We're looking at you, Janae Haggerty, head of events and marketing. 17 years she's been on the tour. This is sadly her last event with us. One of the great faces and personalities we look forward to seeing every single week we're on the tour. Remember her first event? You know what it was? December 7th, 2003, Windsor Locks, Connecticut. What happened that day?
I don't remember.
Major Mika.
300.
300. That's how she started her PBA career.
You got to give me a shot at giving Janae a shout out. You know, I've worked with her for 17 years, and you know, I think Tom Clark said it best. She was the glue that kept this tour together. The countless hours that she put in, her hard work and dedication to the players and to the tour.
She's the best.
Unbelievable.
Man, we're going to miss her.
Yep. Idle Pearl for Marshall Kent on the left lane. And the lead now is 39. Crossing 19 boards from the arrows to the break point. You can see when the player lets go of it, the brain knows immediately, based on the feel, whether or not the shot was any good.
4 strikes in a row for that team. Simonson steps up. He has just been beautiful on this right lane. He gets another strike.
Right out of here, let's go.
He's been perfect.
Find one.
He's been carrying his mate, Dom Barrett, throughout the semifinal. They can max out with a 228. Down 39, though. Dom has got to figure out this left lane. Has to.
He's going to a different layout in that same ball. You can see that gold pin above his finger holes right there, next to his left hand. The ball he was using was a pin down. It was underneath the inserts. That one's up. That's going to make the ball go longer, travel longer down the lane before it starts to curve. Good shot. Problem is it pushed just about 3 feet too far down the lane before it started to go left and came in behind the head pin. Dom has yet to strike on the left lane in this match. Sometimes it doesn't matter how well you execute, Rob.
And that 10 pin wants to be in one of those moods. Not much you can do about it. Ornery 10 pin. Nasty, gnarly. Mean little sucker down there.
Running out of rev rate, running out of angle.
Now E.J. Tackett working on a 4-bagger can increase the lead to 49. And you can see the max score 267 for Kent Tackett.
Randy, take out the dice and throw me a Yahtzee!
There it is. Yeah, clutch. Well, it looks like it's going to shape up to be a rematch from 2017 with Marshall Kent, E.J. Tackett taking on Jesper Svensson and Kyle Troop. And in that title match, Jesper and Kyle shot 279 at these guys. Done.
Come on!
They're moving on to the title match.
More game, baby.
Kent and Tackett moving on to meet up with #1 seeds Jesper Svensson and Kyle Troop. That's coming up, but first, what job did Kyle leave behind to become a pro bowler? That answer next. In 2015, here at Woodland Bowl, the #1 seeds, Norm Duke, Wes Malott, cruised to the victory at the title match of the Roth Hollman PBA doubles. Took care of your 5 seeds, Dom Barrett and Osku Palermo. 10th title for Wes, 38th for Norm. Those two opening a tall and small shop in a strip mall in Big D later this spring. We take a look at your final score, a convincing 73-pin victory for Kent and Tackett. That 263, the high score put up today. Our In the Pocket feature this week takes a closer look at one of the most flamboyant players on the tour. Kyle Troup is in the pocket.
You know, it really hit me that I could bowl for a living and really, do this as a career. Probably about 2016, I was managing Wendy's at the time. That was kind of the moment where I gave it the full commitment, 100%, because this is how I'm going to make my living now, and I want to be successful at it. Luckily, I've been blessed with a electric personality at times, and I guess popularity, you could say sometimes, that comes with my style and my hair. But seeing the fans, going through airports or just random places, like, hey, you're the guy with the fro, tells me that I'm doing my part and kind of helping grow bowling, and trying to be a little more entertaining and just make the sport fun.
As Kyle mentioned, he is easily the most recognizable player on the PBA Tour. Looks a little focused right there, but off camera, he's always so upbeat, so jovial. But it's really been a test for him the last couple of weeks with the passing of his mother.
Yeah, it really has. And, when we spoke with him the other night, he said that he has a whole new outlook on life. And like one of his quotes was, "It's a great day to be alive." He did say that the one thing he misses the most is not being able to call his mom and tell her how well he bowled that day. Yeah. So that's still kind of weighing on him. But I'll tell you what, his dad's here this week, and I know he's still hurting inside, but you wouldn't know it by looking at it.
They're both hurting.
Yeah.
But a wonderful opportunity today to let a little bit more of that healing process take hold. A victory today with Dad in attendance. My goodness, how good would that feel for the Troup family? So Kyle Troup and the Iceman cometh, Jesper Svensson, those two, your 1 seeds, our uninterrupted title match coming your way next. It's Svensson and it's Troup, set to take on your #2 seeds of Marshall Kent and E.J. Tackett. It's the title match of the Roth Hollman doubles next. The PBA on FS1 is sponsored by Go Bowling. For promotional offers, tips to improve your game, news, or to locate a bowling center near you, log on to gobowling.com. From downtown Indianapolis, we bring you inside Royal Pin Woodland. It is title time at the 2020 Mark Roth Marshall Hollman PBA Doubles Championship. Your 2 seeds, Marshall Kent and E.J. Tackett, just took care of your 5 seeds, Dom Barrett and Anthony Simonson. Up next, the #1 team of Troup and Svensson.
The #1 seeds. 8 PBA Tour titles from Gothenburg, Sweden, Jesper Svensson. His partner with 4 PBA Tour titles from Taylorsville, North Carolina, Kyle Troup.
That duo already with 1 doubles title. It came in 2017 in one of our favorite places, Bayside Bowl in Portland, Maine.
Yeah, these guys got off to a slow start with 9 spare, and then struck out for 279.
But the matching outfits, the pick out was in play by Kyle Troup. That's kind of his coming out party as well. And who did they take care of in that title match? Yeah, the guys that they're about to face right now, E.J. Tackett and Marshall Kent.
You want to know a funny story? I asked Jesper, I said, how come no matching outfits this year? And he pointed at Kyle and said, I don't want to look like that.
Jesper has really been the driving force of this duo this week. Gotta run fast. Words he kept barking at his teammate. Jesper was just strike after strike after strike. And the lefty drops another 10. Just struck a 10 this week.
Strongest strike ball on tour right there. At almost 20 miles an hour and just shy of 600 RPMs, the unique style of Jesper Svensson. When he has his look, nobody strikes more than him on the tour.
Late kick of the 7 for Tackett. And we had a look at that messenger that delivered for him in the last match. Gets the late kick of the 7 there. This is a guy, you get the feeling, just needs a little more luck to get him back into the winner's circle.
I tell you what, I've always thought that E.J. Tackett's carry is not the best out here. He sure hits the pocket an awful lot. I've seen him leave some horrific taps when he hits the pocket.
Marshall Kent left a target.
We saw it in the last match. The left lane was the undoing for Dom Barrett and Anthony Simonson. The team of Svensson and Troop, Svensson's left-handed bowling on that left lane.
There's a lot of blue oil missing from that left lane.
There's plenty left on Jesper's side.
Right. Look at that big gap.
I mean, you can see just how dry it is in here. That's how deep the players are already.
Troop on the right.
Now, Kyle's using urethane. He did all week, and he's staying with it. Watch how straight this is. Well, about 11 to 6. So 5 boards in all. Meanwhile, Anthony Simonson was covering about 20. Pitch black for Jesper. His typical go-to equipment.
So a step-back triple to start for Troop and Svensson.
Dirtier than a gas station bathroom right there.
Svensson and Troop lead by 20.
Tackett fires and delivers on the right.
EJ carving it open on that right lane.
Today on Fox, a duel in the desert as the NASCAR Cup Series heads on that left lane. That looked nice.
Well, it was light. It got to the pocket, but again, you remember, I go back to Don Barrett, who struggled on that left lane. He went high, he went light, he went high, he went light. First shot for Marshall in the second frame, he went high, and this time he goes a little light, carries that light mixer.
Troop up, working on a triple.
Both Kyle and Jesper using the same type of bowling ball. Oh no.
Get in your home!
Paralyzer 5.
Yeah, Guppy doesn't believe it.
There's Guppy, 8-time winner on the PBA Tour. He's like, you got to be kidding me. That's something I would leave, not my son. Look at this.
5 almost moved to the 4 spot.
Yeah. Unreal. So you put your hand up when somebody's shooting a 5-pin. And if your hand is up and that player misses the 5-pin, They have to buy. They have to buy you a drink.
So that's why your hand was up?
Yeah, that's why my hand was up.
Kyle takes a seat after converting that spare. So Svensson Troop, strike, 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 9 spare. Svensson to start the 5th on the left. Stare.
I mean, there's just everything about him is so intimidating. So the way he throws it, the way he delivers it.
So good.
And then his demeanor after his ball just runs over the pins.
Tackett's turn on the right. We close out the 5th.
Whoa. I mean, this is just another duplicate of the last shot he threw on that lane that he struck. And this time the 6 goes around. Watch
six did a cartwheel around
Yeah,
the
it
10.
sure did. There were some great reactions, not only by Marshall Kent, his partner, but that gentleman in the audience had both hands over his eyes.
Pick me up, man. Come on.
EJ, I'll tell you what, he looked great the last time we saw him on television. He looks great today. He's executing beautifully. Now, I think this is going to be the telling shot for this team. 1 high, 1 light, in the left lane, kind of getting a little dirty.
Again, uninterrupted coverage of the title match here at the Mark Roth Marshall Hollman PBA Doubles Championship. 10 pins separating these two. There's Terry Powell, the GM here at Royal Pin Woodland.
What a job they do here for us. I mean, over the years, it's been just an amazing place to come to. And Jim Doty, and before him, Don Mitchell, both are in the PBA Hall of Fame, and just an absolute awesome place to compete.
Only one facility, Randy, has hosted the PBA more often.
Yeah.
The Showboat Lanes, which no longer exists in Vegas.
Light again.
Left the 4.
Yeah, that urethane ball's struggling to get up the hill.
Down, Kyle.
All right. Come on, set me up. I got you.
The pros know Indy well. This right here, long time stop on the tour. Of course, we were in Fairlawn at AMF Riviera Lanes a couple weeks ago for the TOC. We're off to Vegas. A week from today, PBA World Series begins. 5 straight days of PBA action on FS1.
I might need to borrow some money.
Get help. Go! Come on! On your way! Come on!
Wow. Look at that shot on strike track. It was just a mirror image. Look at those eyes.
Go! Come on! On your way! Come on!
Oh no.
What? How did that not hook? How did that not hook?
EJ can't believe this shot here that didn't get back up to the pocket. 2-4-8. If he covers this, they'll still only trail by 10.
Four strikes and now 3 spares for the Kent Tackett team.
Yeah, it looked like a good shot to me as well, EJ.
His teammate, Marshall Kent, steps up.
Well, no matter what, Marshall, even with a strike here in the 8th frame, cannot shut out Troop and Svensson. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Hold me out.
That had some air time.
Good shot here. All right, man.
Let it roll. It's now Troop. He started with the strike. Since then, spare for the man who won the Jonesboro Open earlier this season.
Big shot here. His partner hasn't missed yet.
Troop, there it is!
One more. One of your best. Take a re-rack if you want it.
Puts the gorgeous touch on this one right here. I'll tell you what, Paralyzer a 5-pin in the 4th, and then that little light 4-pin in the 6th, so they could have the front 8 easily.
Come on, man. This means so much for so many more people than yourself. Come on.
Hands went to the back of the head immediately.
Oh,
He
man.
had a lot of external chatter to himself ahead of that shot as well.
And now they're in jeopardy of losing. And he just left himself with the toughest spare that's not a split or a washout. 2-4-7-8, I believe, is what he left. I can't see it. Yep, 2-4-7-8.
Remember that one.
That was huge. All right, 235 max score for Troop Svensson, 239 Kent Tackett. If he would have missed that, then all Kent and Tackett would have needed was a double, and it'd have been a shutout. But they're still alive, but barely. If Tackett doesn't strike on this ball, Troop can get up and strike out in the 10th and shut him out. He made sure that one hooked.
Come on!
All right, Marshall Kent with a strike here. They'll be in the 220s. If he doesn't strike on this ball, Troop needs a mark in the 10th.
Left to target.
That's that good, too.
Well, it was way inside of target, down at the break point and at the arrows. And it looked like he jumped all over, which made that ball break loose and go high. Even if he converts, Kyle Troop just needs a mark and good count, and they'll win their second Roth Hollman doubles title. Wow, did this flip-flop back and forth real quick, didn't it?
It's the beauty of pro sports, Randy, and an open frame.
Unfortunate way to finish. Troop and Svensson don't even need a mark. 6
It's okay, buddy.
pins, and it is over.
Remember,
6 pins on the first ball, done.
Remember how much the Troop family has been through of late. A re-rack was just called by Kyle.
That man right there has been going through a lot as well with his father, and His
His father's doing great, recovering from brain cancer. We're going to see him in Las Vegas, but some hardware really close to being handed to Kyle Troop. Lost his mother just a couple weeks ago. His father, Guppy, in attendance. Right behind him, there he is on the right side of the frame with the yellow glasses, and he's got that fear and loathing in the PBA look going today. But let me tell you, Guppy and Kyle are going to explode in celebration. There is some release that's about to happen right now for Guppy, and certainly for his son as well. Come on, Kyle.
Good.
Give him the title! Give them the title!
Oh, baby, we did it, Lord, baby. We did it! Yeah, we did it! I love you so much. That's for Mom. Yes, baby! Let him hear it! Yes!
Another strike for good measure.
Love you, man. Oh, man.
Let it out, Guppy. Let it out, man.
Beautiful stuff there.
Golly. So happy for that family. So is EJ.
Look how classy EJ Tackett is.
Oh, man.
I think it's relief for Svensson as well, because he knew what was going on for Kyle. You know, what a title means for him and his dad and the entire family.
Oh, we did it, man. We did it. Where's our song? Where's our song? Come on. Woo! God, I know what
All he needed was 6. 10 to do the trick. Kimberly with our winners.
There's so much emotion on the lanes right now. Jesper, let's talk to you real quick. So you were perfect coming all the way into the 9th, and then you went a little bit high. What happened there?
Oh, damn, I don't know. Like, it's just...
It's a blur at this point.
I just tried to slow my heart down, and it didn't work. So, you know, I'm glad I can make the spare. And well, yeah, I don't know what to say, really. Like, it's so much emotion for this win, obviously. To have my boy back, and man, it means so much for so many more people than myself and him, so it's hard.
Well, I don't normally see this much emotion and excitement out of you, so talk to me about what it means for you to win this, Kyle, during this 2020 season.
It means everything, especially for what him and his family have been going through, obviously. I couldn't be more proud and happy to have him back and do this with me, and there's nobody else I would prefer doing this with than Kyle.
And Kyle, you seem to be bowling with purpose today. What was that purpose?
We said a month ago that we were going to win this tournament for Mom, and that's exactly what we did. We were leading coming in. We were struggling a little bit leading up to the match. We couldn't settle down. But, you know, I just told him we're some of the best bowlers in the world, and we just got to make 5 good shots apiece, and we executed some really good shots.
You absolutely did, and I have no doubt that your mom is smiling down on you right now. And then you have your dad, Guppy, over here, who's brought to tears. What does it mean to have him here watch you win this?
So special to have Guppy here to watch myself and Jesper win. I would say Jesper's a part of the family, and this is a big win for our entire family. And Perry, his buddy that came down too.